I never imagined I'd see the day my wife Emily would look straight at me and tear apart everything we had built. We'd been married for 8 years, and while life wasn't flawless, I always believed we were stable, grounded, untouchable. That evening began like any other. I walked in from work expecting dinner, maybe a casual chat about her day, but instead she sat across from me at the table, a glass of wine in her hand, her expression colder than I'd ever seen. Then she said it, calm, intentional, and brutally direct. "I'm spending the night with another man. Don't wait up." My fork stopped in midair. For a moment, time froze. Her words struck harder than any punch. I stared at her, trying to figure out if this was some twisted joke, but the smug curl of her lips told me she meant every syllable. Emily wasn't remorseful, not embarrassed. She was baiting me, waiting for me to explode, break down, or beg her to stay. But instead, I leaned back, heart hammering in my chest while my face remained unreadable. In that instant, I knew the woman I married no longer existed. Whoever sat across from me now was someone who had been hiding behind lies far longer than I realized. And if she believed this little announcement would break me, she was about to be disappointed. I laid my fork on the table, wiped my mouth, and met her gaze. "Is that so?" I asked, steady and controlled. She didn't expect that. Her brow lifted, surprised at my calm. "Yes," she answered sharply. "I'm done pretending. I've been seeing someone else, and tonight I'm going to him." The venom in her voice was unmistakable. Yet beneath it I caught something else, a tiny tremor, like she hadn't anticipated this reaction. I stood up slowly, pushed my chair back, and walked to the cabinet where we kept the wine. She watched every move, waiting for me to crack. I poured myself a glass, took a measured sip, and said, "Good. At least you're finally telling the truth. Now let me be clear, too. You won't be coming back here." Her smirk faltered. "What do you mean?" she asked, softer now. I turned, facing her head on. "I mean if you walk out to him tonight, this house will never be yours again." For the first time, her confidence slipped. She hadn't expected that. She wanted chaos. She wanted me to grovel and fight for her. But instead, I handed her the consequence she never planned for. "Pack a bag," I said. "Or don't. Either way, once you leave, you don't return." Her lips parted, but nothing came out. She couldn't reconcile the image of the man she assumed I was with the one standing before her. "I didn't think you'd respond like this," she whispered. A bitter laugh escaped me, short but freeing. "Of course not. You thought you could humiliate me, keep me on the hook while you enjoyed someone else. But I'm not that man, Emily. You made your choice. Now I'm making mine." I grabbed my phone and sent a quick text to my lawyer friend. Divorce papers would be prepared by the next morning. Then I added, "By the way, everything in this house is under my name. She doesn't get half." Her face changed instantly. Panic started seeping through the cracks of her attitude. "Wait, we don't have to go that far," she pleaded, her voice beginning to shake. Maybe I was upset. Maybe I didn't mean it the way it sounded. I shook my head slowly. "No, you looked me in the eye and told me you were with another man. That wasn't anger. That was honesty." Her excuses fell apart under the weight of her own confession. And in that quiet moment, I finally accepted how deeply broken our marriage had become. I didn't yell. I didn't insult her. I didn't shed a tear. I simply poured another glass of wine, sat back down, and let her absorb the reality. She was no longer in control. She fidgeted, scrambling for a response, but I cut her off. "Go," I said firmly. "You chose him. Now live with that choice. But don't ever think you can come crawling back into this house, or into my life." Emily walked out that night, slamming the door behind her. I stayed at the table, finishing my wine, surprisingly calm. I wasn't shattered. I was finally free. She thought her betrayal would ruin me, but instead it released me. The divorce moved quickly, clean, simple, and entirely in my favor. Friends who once admired our marriage were stunned by what she'd done, but I didn't waste energy explaining. I was already moving forward, ready to rebuild without her lies weighing me down. Months later, I ran into her at a mutual friend's gathering. She looked exhausted, drained. Nothing like the woman who once smirked at me from across our table. When our eyes met, she looked away instantly. She couldn't even hold my gaze. And in that moment, I knew she finally understood. The night she told me she was with another man, she thought she was destroying me. Instead, my calm broke the illusion of power she believed she had.